let's just say that I married out of the will of God. Let's just say that he should not have divorced his wife. Now, I know these things are not true, okay? Because I know by way of the Spirit, I know the voice of God, I know the leading of the Holy Spirit, okay? But let's just say I'm wrong on every account.
Joni Lamb regrets remarrying quickly after her spouse's death, acknowledging the emotional toll and public backlash it caused. Before we dive into this heart-wrenching story, I kindly ask you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring you more powerful, emotional, and thought-provoking stories like this one. Now, let's unravel the layers of Joni Lamb's journey, a tale of love, loss, regret, and the complexities of grief. Imagine losing the love of your life, the person who is your rock, your confidant, and your partner in every sense of the word. For Joni Lamb, this was her reality when her husband, Marcus Lamb, passed away unexpectedly. Marcus wasn't just a husband. He was a pillar of strength, a beloved figure in their community, and a man whose absence left a void that seemed impossible to fill. The shock of his death reverberated through their family, friends, and the broader community, leaving everyone in a state of collective mourning. But just 5 months after Marcus's death, Joni made a decision that would change her life forever. She remarried. Her new husband, Weiss, became a symbol of controversy and pain for many who felt that Joni had moved on too quickly. The decision was met with disbelief, anger, and even betrayal by those who believed Marcus's memory deserved more time to be honored. For Joni, however, the decision was born out of a desperate need to escape the crushing loneliness that followed Marcus's death. She was drowning in grief, and in her vulnerability, she sought solace in a new relationship, hoping it would bring her some semblance of normalcy. But as time would reveal, this decision came at a steep cost, one that Joni would deeply regret. The public's reaction to Joni's remarriage was swift and unforgiving. Critics argued that 5 months was far too short a time to properly mourn the loss of a spouse, especially someone as beloved as Marcus Lamb. The optics of her decision were damning, and whispers of conspiracy theories began to spread like wildfire. Some even went as far as to suggest that Joni had ulterior motives, with a few extreme voices insinuating that she might have played a role in Marcus's death. These allegations, though entirely unfounded, cast a dark shadow over Joni's decision and added fuel to the fire of public outrage. Social media became a battleground of opinions, with hashtags and heated debates dominating the conversation. Headlines screamed of betrayal and insensitivity, painting Joni as a woman who had callously moved on without honoring her late husband's memory. The backlash was relentless, and Joni found herself at the center of a storm she never anticipated. The public's harsh judgment only deepened her pain, as she struggled to reconcile her own grief with the expectations of those around her. The weight of their accusations became a constant reminder of the gap between her inner turmoil and the world's perception of her actions. In her raw and emotional confession, Joni opened up about the true motivations behind her decision to remarry so quickly. She admitted that the overwhelming loneliness she felt after Marcus's death was unbearable. The house that once felt like a home was now a hollow shell, filled with memories that brought both comfort and pain. Every corner reminded her of Marcus, his laughter, his presence, the life they had built together. The silence was deafening, and the isolation was crushing. In her vulnerability, Joni sought comfort in the arms of Weiss, hoping that a new relationship would help her piece her life back together. She longed for a sense of normalcy, a way to escape the relentless grief that consumed her. But in hindsight, Joni now sees that her decision was driven by desperation rather than clarity. She acknowledges that she wasn't ready to move on, and that her haste to find solace in a new relationship only deepened her emotional wounds. Her confession is a poignant reminder of how grief can cloud judgment, leading to decisions that may provide temporary relief, but leave lasting scars. Looking back, Joni's regret is palpable. She admits that she should have given herself more time to grieve Marcus properly, to honor his memory with the depth and respect it deserved. In her confession, she reflects on the emotional toll of rushing into a new relationship, acknowledging that she cut short her own healing process. The pain of losing Marcus was still raw, and by remarrying so quickly, she denied herself the opportunity to fully process her loss. Joni's regret isn't just about the public backlash or the optics of her decision. It's a deeply personal acknowledgement of the emotional consequences of her actions. She wishes she had taken the time to say goodbye to Marcus, to mourn him in a way that would have allowed her to heal more fully. Her story is a powerful reminder that grief cannot be rushed and that true healing requires time, patience, and self-compassion. The public's reaction to Joni's remarriage was nothing short of brutal. Many accused her of being insensitive, of failing to genuinely mourn Marcus's death. The speed at which she moved on was seen as a betrayal, not just to Marcus's memory, but to everyone who had loved and respected him. Critics argued that proper mourning requires time, a period to process the loss, to remember the departed, and to come to terms with the reality of life without them. A 5-month gap, they insisted, was far too short to honor someone as significant as Marcus. The accusations cut deep, adding to Joni's emotional burden. She found herself constantly defending her actions, trying to explain the complexities of her grief to a public that seemed determined to judge her. The harsh headlines and relentless rumors became a daily reminder of the gap between her inner turmoil and the world's expectations. Joni's story highlights the challenges of navigating grief in the public eye, where personal decisions are often scrutinized and judged without empathy or understanding. In her confession, Joni laid bare the emotional turmoil she experienced in the months following Marcus's death. She spoke of the overwhelming loneliness, the crushing despair, and the desperate need to find some semblance of normalcy. Her decision to remarry, she admitted, was born out of a place of deep pain and vulnerability. She wasn't thinking clearly, she was simply trying to survive. But as time passed, the emotional consequences of her haste became impossible to ignore. Joni found herself grappling with unresolved grief, haunted by the memory of Marcus and the life they had shared. The new relationship, which she had hoped would bring her comfort, only deepened her sense of loss. Her confession is a raw and honest portrayal of the inner struggle she faced, a reminder that grief is a complex and deeply personal journey that cannot be rushed. Joni's decision to remarry so quickly left her with unresolved grief, a burden she continues to carry to this day. In her confession, she admits that she didn't allow herself the time to fully process Marcus's death, to mourn him in a way that would have allowed her to heal. Instead, she rushed into a new relationship, hoping it would provide some relief from the pain. But as she now realizes, that decision only delayed her healing, leaving her with lingering doubts and regrets. Joni's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of moving on too quickly. It's a reminder that grief cannot be bypassed or rushed, and that true healing requires time, patience, and self-compassion. Her experience serves as a powerful lesson for anyone who has ever felt pressured to move on before they were ready. Even years after her remarriage, Joni continues to be haunted by the decision. The emotional scars of moving on too quickly still influence her daily life, shaping her relationships, her self-perception, and her understanding of what it means to truly grieve. The weight of public judgment, the relentless rumors, and the lingering sense of regret have left an indelible mark on her personal journey. Joni's story is a powerful reminder of the long-term consequences of our decisions, especially those made in the midst of grief. It's a call for empathy and understanding, a plea to look beyond the surface and recognize the complexities of the human heart. Joni's journey underscores the complexity of grief and the fact that there is no universal timeline for healing. Each person's experience of loss is unique, shaped by their relationship with the departed, their personal circumstances, and their emotional resilience. Joni's story challenges us to reconsider our own assumptions about grief and to approach the experiences of others with empathy and compassion. Her confession is a powerful reminder that healing is not a linear process and that there is no right way to grieve. It's a deeply personal journey, one that requires time, space, and the freedom to feel every emotion without judgment. Joni's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of moving on too quickly after a profound loss. Her decision to remarry just 5 months after Marcus's death, driven by loneliness and a desperate need for normalcy, left her with unresolved grief and lasting regret. Her experience serves as a powerful reminder that true healing cannot be rushed and that the path to recovery is rarely straightforward. Joni's confession is a call for empathy and understanding, a plea to look beyond the sensational headlines and recognize the human heart's unpredictable process of healing. It's a story that challenges us to examine our own assumptions about love, loss, and the right time to heal. If this story resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more powerful, emotional, and thought-provoking content. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe there's a right time to move on after a profound loss, or is grief too personal a journey to be measured by a calendar? Your voice matters, and together, we can foster a community of understanding and compassion.